every time I think my heartbreak is healed of the loss of the Kia Rio, we get a really nice trade-in at our dealership, and it reminds me of just how perfect this vehicle was. So in today's live walkthrough, Connor and I are going over the beloved Kia Rio. Now this is the 2023 model, aka the last model produced for us here in North America, and we actually have the top trim level. This vehicle was traded into us at our Kia store, has just over 41,000 kilometers, and has since been sold. So if you want this one, I'm afraid you're too late. But the whole purpose of making this video is just to highlight how awesome of a vehicle this was, because it truly was. Oh. I drove this car 3 separate times in one day last week, and each time it just put a huge smile on my face. It drives like a go-kart, it's so much fun, handles great, and is an amazing price point vehicle. So, shall we get into it, Connor?
Let's dive right into it.
Let's do it. The vehicle is parked kind of in a different way than how we typically set up these live streams, but it's Flashback Friday. It's not our typical scheduled programming, so we're gonna roll with it. I wanna first highlight that on the EX Premium trim that we have here today, you get some fun design elements. It definitely stands out from the rest of the Kia Rio lineup. And one of those many changes are going to come down to the styling cues. So you'll notice you get chrome door handles. That's fancy. And not only do they have a nice look to them, they also have an added tech function. So this little button on the door handle actually gives you proximity access. As long as the key is somewhere on you, it could be in your pocket or simply in your hand, you just press that button, unlocks the car for you, locks it again once you're done driving, and it's even push to start. So you never really have to touch your key unless you want to.
I think that's the best part.
That is honestly one of my favorite functions ever, and a lot of people overlook that until they get a car that doesn't have it and realize, wow, I really miss that. Okay, I'm just going to turn on the electrical system on the car so we can get a full look at the headlamps and also the fog lights, because when you go to the EX Premium trim level, you get introductory fog lights. Now the headlamps themselves have a mix of LED bulbs and traditional halogen bulbs. So you'll notice the halogens for the main headlamp and then LEDs for the positioning lights and the daytime running lights. Your fog lamps are also traditional bulbs, but one thing I will say about regular bulbs, sure, they're not as modern or as bright as LEDs, but they do emit heat. And here in Canada, when one day the weather was 20 degrees Celsius, that's a good temperature, the day before had freezing rain, snow, ice, and all of the elements you could possibly think of combined in one day. It was really nice to have lights that do emit heat, because it did melt some of the snow and ice off my headlamps, and I could actually see what I was doing, something LEDs don't necessarily do. Couple more things I'll talk about on the front end. You do get a nice black and chrome coated front grille. Also check out the license plates with the sticky notes to block them off. It comes factory with the car. Couple of the things, just some more black elements down in the lower portion of the grille, and a fairly simple look, but simple is what this vehicle does really well. It doesn't pretend to be something it's not. It's just a straight up good car, and we'll see a lot more of that when we get into the interior. I want to talk powertrain next. The Kia Rio only comes with one powertrain. It's a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated multi-point injection engine. Now, multi-point injection is key here, not gasoline direct. So multi-point does have a couple extra benefits. You don't necessarily have that carbon buildup that GDI engines can be known for, and you get fantastic efficiency. So let's prop this open. There we are. Here's our engine. It's small, just like the rest of the car, but it produces 120 horsepower with 113 pound-feet of torque, AKA race car numbers. Just kidding. But this car is small, it's light, and that is plenty of horsepower and torque for a vehicle of this size. I will say, just like what I mentioned earlier, this vehicle feels like you're driving around in a go-kart. It is super, super quick to handle, gets up to highway speed just fine. You're not gonna win any races, but you're gonna save at the fuel pump, and that's what really matters. In the city, this vehicle is, I think it's 7.2 liters per 100 kilometers and 6.1, I believe, on the highway, but I will fact check that before this video is done. And it comes with a 45-liter tank, so a very, very small tank, regular unleaded fuel to fill it up. And boy, it's good news all around, you guys. Connor, you have driven the Kia Rio a little bit yourself. What are your thoughts?
I was going to ask you kind of like front end. Someone mentioned that the front end has kind of aged well. I personally love the daytime running lights. I think fog lights are a must as well.
Yep.
You know, like even new SUVs, you don't get fog lights on some of the trim levels. So
that's true. We actually have quite a few vehicles that don't even have fog lights as an option, so it's nice to have it on a vehicle like the Kia Rio. Number one, I think fog lights just look good, if that makes sense, but obviously the functionality behind them too, fantastic. Another thing I didn't mention about the lights on this vehicle, you have automatic high beam assist on this trim level, so that automatically turns off your high beams if it senses another car. So it's smart high beams too. We'll talk about the wheels next. Now the wheels are exclusive to the EX Premium trim level, not wheels in general, but these wheels. So you get this nice 17-inch alloy design. I think they look fantastic and definitely complement this exterior paint color very, very nicely. You also get some additional upgrades when you go to the EX Premium. So if you are not a fan of drum brakes, you'll get disc brakes all around on the EX Premium, but if you get any trim level below, you'll get disc brakes in the front with drum brakes in the rear. That was a change for the 2023 model year, so the years prior would have drum brakes regardless of what trim you get. A couple other things I will point on. Again, the alloys just look good. They definitely suit this vehicle, adds to the extra style and flair, and they're still fairly cheap to get a winter tire set for this vehicle. It's not a huge, huge alloy, you know what I mean? You don't have to replace anything too big, so winning.
I think that's a big thing that people don't think about is winter tires.
Oh yeah. If you live somewhere like we do where you kind of need winter tires.
You know, like something like this, you could probably, you know, $1,000, but you know, you look for something with the Sorento or the Stinger, you know, you have to go with alloy wheels, and it really adds up the price.
I love the Kia Stinger. It's a fantastic car, but the amount of a brake service on that vehicle and tires, if you are shopping for them, woo, it hurts. I've had to not quote them, but let a couple customers of mine know that purchase Stingers, how much it is, and they're like, oh, really? Yeah. You won't have that sticker shock with the Rio. It's a good thing. You also won't have that kind of horsepower, but maybe that's also what you're after. A couple more things I'll talk about the mirrors. So the mirrors are body color, but you do have turn signal indicators as well. And on this specific trim level, you do get some added safety functions on the car. So things like forward collision avoidance will come on the EX Premium trim. It also picks up pedestrians and cyclists. So essentially that will give you a warning if there's a risk of a collision and a brake force too. There's also lane keep and lane following assist systems. So that watches the lanes ahead of you to make sure your car is centered in the lane, not departing, gives you an audible alert and some corrective action too. All right, now let's go to the back of the car. The back of the car is one of my favorites. This vehicle looks so, so good. So like what you guys said about the styling on the front end, it doesn't really get old. The same is true for the rear. It's just a good looking car. There's not too much design elements that kind of get tacky as the vehicle ages. It's just simple, straight up, and it's a hatchback. We do not get a lot of hatchback options here in North America.
Someone mentioned that, you know, it's been a lot of SUVs in recent years.
We only have SUVs. Do you want SUV or do you want sedan? Sedan we don't even have that much of. We have the K4 now and that is it. So no more Rio sedan because that was a thing at a point. No more Forte sedan, no more Stinger sedan, no more K5 sedan. What do we got, guys? All right. We do have space. Now this is 493 liters of cargo space that you're looking at right now. Pretty nice. This cargo cover is removable, so if you need a little bit of extra height, you can totally unclip it and tuck it away underneath the floorboard. Speaking of the floorboard, when you have it lifted, you can see the vehicle does come with a mobility kit, but there is a little space for a spare. So did not come with a spare, but you can certainly purchase one and put it in there. Have peace of mind, especially if you are someone who's commuting a lot with this vehicle. We know Ontario roads are not great. It's very likely that you might experience a flat at some point in your life.
To put it into perspective, a spare for the Rio is about $250 to $300 to buy it through parts.
That's awesome.
And it comes with this tire, the rim, the jack, everything you need to change the tire.
So in contrast, I believe a Kia Sorento, a customer of mine was looking for a spare tire replacement kit because he bought a 2021 and they did not have spare tires in that model year. It was almost $1,000. That's crazy. Connor, is that true?
Was that the sealant? Or the tire?
No, an actual spare tire. Because the whole kit.
I can see it getting up there.
Yeah.
Especially with the Sorento, a bigger rim, bigger tire.
Not fun. Definitely not fun. A couple more things I'll point out about the back end. Kia emblem. You got your backup camera right underneath the K in Kia with your grab handle too. Your rear wiper is in its regular location, so there's no massive spoiler to hide it under, but it's okay. It suits this vehicle. And you get a little antenna up at the top too. A cute antenna. I think we should take a look inside the vehicle. So I'm going to quickly hop in the driver's side. Do you mind coming this way, Connor, actually? So when I get into the driver's side, I'll quickly show some of the driver's seat controls. They're all manual on the Kia Rio. So you got your height adjustment, very easy to move it up or move it down. Backrest, of course, and then you can easily move your vehicle's position on its rail. On the left-hand side, there's a button to quickly increase or decrease the brightness of your gauge cluster and main screen, and your traction control. The door handles, or doors themselves, are pretty straight up, so everything is finished in a nice semi-glossy black. You got your mirror controls, an express window for the driver with regular power windows throughout, and a heated and leather-wrapped steering wheel.
That's a bonus.
Oh my gosh.
Especially in the winter.
You guys, I don't have this in my car anymore, and I miss it dearly. A heated steering wheel is such a fantastic luxury to have, and no matter how you like to drive, Kia actually heats up the entire wheel. So again, whatever your position is, your hands will be nice and warm. You have your driver and media controls on the left-hand side, so things like voice commands, your volume controls, and a button to answer and decline phone calls. The right-hand side is for driver assistance. So you got your cruise control. You'll set your speed with the plus and minus, and then you can turn on or off your lane follow assist with this little button here. Up ahead is a fairly simple gauge cluster. So it's got everything you need and nothing that you don't need. You got your distance to empty projected up at the very top, so 570 kilometers, and the tank is slightly under full, so you're closer to 600 or just over with it full. The left-hand side has your tachometer as well as your temperature control. Don't worry, there isn't actually a check engine light on this vehicle. It's just running in accessory mode. And then the right-hand side is your speedometer. Again, everything that you need with nothing you don't need. All of your relevant information where you'd expect it to be. Now Connor's going to join me on the passenger side, and we're going to talk some more tech. And admittedly, if you are someone who wants all the latest, greatest tech functions on a car, the Kia Rio may not be for you. But if you're someone who needs a vehicle that is reliable, efficient, affordable to maintain and purchase, this is the car for you. And also comfortable. We have some very, very tall people driving Kia Rios. It is surprisingly spacious in here, largely thanks to the way you can maneuver your seat and just the way this hatchback's built. So let's take a look at the center console. Number one, I'm going to highlight symmetry. Everything just kind of flows on this vehicle. Screens are something that get dated really, really quickly. So the fact that this isn't a massive screen that's kind of mounted on top of the dash makes it look like it's supposed to be here regardless of the year. So it's an 8-inch touchscreen display with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you get Sirius satellite radio on the EX Premium trim level. Nice touchscreen. Again, I'm going to quickly put the vehicle in reverse so you can see the backup camera. This is a backup camera that's, again, straight up. It does its job, gives you guidelines, gives you the warning zone too, that little red zone. And you have some real physical buttons too, so not all of your controls are exclusive to the screen. So as the vehicle ages over time and the screen might get a little laggy, you still have a button to do your basic controls. You got your volume controls, media or 2 knob controls, and then everything in between does exactly as it says. Underneath, you also have the addition of automated climate control. So you'll set your temperature to whatever your preference is, and then you can set the intensity with auto so that it stays at that exact temperature and doesn't go up or down. Oh, the gimbal's gimbling. So if I set it to 22.5 degrees, it'll keep me there the whole time. So if you drive somewhere cold or whatever, put your window down, it's just stable all the time. If you want to do it yourself though, there is a fan speed control, and you can actually maneuver the temp to whatever you want and then just change it as you go. Underneath, we got our front defrost, our off button, your directional controls, and then your recirculated air and rear defrost. Your rear defrost also triggers the defrost on your mirrors too. A lot of people don't necessarily know that. So if your mirrors are ever clogged with ice, turn that on, they'll melt off eventually. And you do have blind spot detection on this car, so that will illuminate the icon in your mirror when there's a vehicle in your left or right blind spot. There it is right over there.
This is what I'm looking for right here. The heated seats.
Ooh!
And the sport mode.
Sport mode. So what does sport mode do in a vehicle like this? Well, it amps up that 120 horsepower to 1200. Just kidding, it doesn't. But what it will do is kind of lengthen the gear ratios a little bit. I say that very loosely. It'll ride gears a little bit longer to give you that full width of power band. It will in turn consume a little bit more fuel, but again, with a vehicle that's so fuel efficient like this, it's not going to be crazy drastic changes or numbers. You will also feel a little bit more of an enhanced response to the throttle, so just a little bit of less pressure on your accelerator. You'll feel the car want to go a little bit more. Can't tame this bad boy. That's why I never drive in sport mode. It scares me. Just kidding. All right, beside that, we got our heated steering wheel. So just a simple one press to turn it on. Again, heats the entire wheel, and 3 different levels of control for your heated seats for both driver and passenger. Your gear lever is a traditional gear leather tops with a nice leather boot around it too. And then regular brindle. You also have a regular handbrake. It's always satisfying to be able to do that, especially in a snowy parking lot.
I was just about to say that.
That's how you impress a date. You just pull your handbrake, little handbrake slide. Something modern cars with the electronic brakes can't do. All right, regular center console. Nothing too fancy going on over there. And there's just one outlet I want to point out before I get carried away. We do have a USB in the very center. So for software updates, or if you want to charge a phone, that's what you'll use. And you do have a 12 volts to the right of it. Up at the top, you actually have a very nice power sunroof. So let the light in a little bit. And you do also have a light headliner, which definitely kind of gives the illusion of a little bit more space, although we're not really cramped for space in this car, admittedly. Your key fob is a smart style key fob, so proximity, again, like I said, with lock at the top, unlock, and then our release for our lift gate. I will give a quick fun fact about this key, because when I started working here, the Rio was still the only vehicle with this key, and now it's literally the last of its kind to feature this key here in Canada, for Kia at least. Kia. So yeah, my mom's 2017 Kia Sorento had this key, and then every model died off except the Rio. Last Rio key ever made.
I have a fun fact about the key. If your key fob battery ever dies and you're in a push button car, you have to touch the button to the starter. I don't know if we've ever talked about that.
Yes.
But
Connor doesn't watch the Kia Hyundai channel.
oh, jeez.
But yeah, if your battery ever dies in the fob, you actually have to make physical connection to the key to the start button, but you use the mechanical key within your key to unlock the door, if that makes sense. Again, we've done a video on that, so check our account. We do all kinds of videos here.
And one other thing I want to add, I like the kind of mixture of piano black with the kind of satin metal finish.
Oh yeah.
It kind of combines everything together. I like it.
It's such a, don't get me wrong, it's simple in here, but it's not simple boring. It's simple nice. It's simple familiar. It's simple cozy. It's simple you get into your car, turn your heat on, turn the car on, and you're happy. It's good. It's not overly complicated. I like that. I think we should hop into the back seats and check out space back there. And just a warning, it's not going to be our most spacious vehicle, but it seats 5.
It's a hatchback. We got lots of headroom.
Yeah. This car also has a very annoying door alarm, but
I guess I was riding back a little bit far. I guess if you had a bigger passenger,
yeah.
The person in the back would have a little bit less leg room, or slim to none.
Again, it's not the most spacious vehicle we have, but it's a vehicle that it's not even a vehicle we have anymore. It's a vehicle we had. So seated back here, one thing I will say, these cloth seats are extremely comfortable. So you actually do sink into them a little bit, and the position of the recline back here is just right. It's perfect.
It's not straight up and down.
Yeah. And especially because it's non-adjustable, you better hope it's perfect from factory, because you can't change it after. So I'm very happy back here. Positioned behind myself, if I was a driver, I would still have a little bit of leg room and a little bit of space beside me. Now in the very middle seat, the same is true because you don't actually have a hump in the very center like you would on some all-wheel drive vehicles. So this drivetrain is relatively flat. Seated behind Connor.
Well, yeah. If we ever got into an accident, your kneecaps would be gone.
Yes, and I would have a great view of his head.
And nothing else.
That is all. I'm just going to go back into the middle. Just squeeze over if I can. We do have a USB in the very center. So that is something that we do get back here. But there's not much else other than car seat tethers. And a funky design.
I was going to say, I like the kind of hexagon. They did something with it.
There is definitely something there, and there's something to be said about that.
Someone said, who needs legs anyways? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why they made wheelchairs.
You know what?
I'm joking.
Just be happy you get to ride in the Kia Rio. A piece of Kia history, if you will. I think it's time we answer some questions about the Rio, see what you guys have to say, and if you're upset about the loss of this vehicle like we are, let's hop out. Or let me hop out. Okay. I don't know if I mentioned the starting price of this car when it was new. So this was $22,995 brand new for this specific trim level. However,
sorry, I put us off to the side a little bit there.
it's okay. This vehicle started at, I think it was $18,995, something around there, if you got the LX manual version, which came as a manual.
That's a fantastic price.
Yes, a really, really good price.
Because what else is priced at? A Chevy Spark, or I don't even
Those
think they
don't
make those
exist
anymore.
either.
Yeah, it's all SUVs. It's all.
I think
Yeah.
the only vehicle in this segment that is still being produced, and I don't think it's going to be produced for much longer, is the Versa. I think that's the only one that's still around.
They're Nissan.
Yeah. It's a hot ride, right?
A lot of trucks, a lot of SUVs in Canada.
Yeah. Nothing really like this, unfortunately, which is very, very sad. I saw Charlotte comment cheap and cheerful, and that's exactly the motto for the Kia Rio. Yeah. It's affordable in just about every segment, the acquisition cost, the maintenance cost, the fuel cost.
Everything.
Yeah, everything is just makes sense on this car. I will say the feel of this car doesn't feel cheap though. So back to what I was saying about driving it, it's just a pleasure to drive. It's simple, but it doesn't feel cheap, if that makes sense. My personal car, that feels cheap. Oh, another topic on the cheap department. Let's talk about the door handles again. So I like to make a note every single time I drive a vehicle that I haven't driven before, or maybe it's another manufacturer, whatever. When you go to grab a door handle and it feels like a paper clip, that's not really a good sign.
No, you want like some solid feeling to the door.
I drove I think it was a 2018 Mitsubishi. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember what it was. It was their SUV.
Outlander, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was a PHEV. And this felt like a tiny, tiny, thin, just paper clip. This feels solid. That is a solid door handle. That is a solid door close. This is a solid car.
Solid price points?
Yeah, solid price
everything.
Point. It's a very, very good vehicle. Or even just like resting your arm on the door while you're driving, that kind of thing, and just hearing everything rattle and shake and just feel flimsy. Hearing a bunch of road noise. I don't like that.
No.
Something you don't really get on this car. So, very happy about that. Lighter materials for faster speeds and better aerodynamics.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if that was I guess
I don't know if that was a factor when they were making the car.
If we're talking about the Mitsubishi, I think that was just really bad door handles. Everything else in the car felt okay, but the door handles, man, I felt like I was going to break them off. I can't imagine being in an ice storm or something, because we have had quite a few ice storms, yeah. I do not think they would survive there. Paul, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Hatchbacks often handle better due to shorter wheelbases. I would agree with that, absolutely.
This thing turns on a dime, super easy to park, and very visible too. So just the structure of the windows and your seating position, very easy to maneuver this car. Adele said, I agree, Mitsubishi Mirage door handles are brittle. Yeah, I hate a brittle door handle, you guys. Does the store have new and resaleed cars? Yeah, so we are a Kia store, but we also have a used car lineup where we have just about everything. We've literally had anything and everything traded in at our store.
American Muscle, electric cars, big trucks, everything.
At one point, a limo. That was before I started working here, but we did have a limo for a while. Charlotte knows all about that.
We had a big Sprinter van that we got from a retirement home.
Yeah.
I was tasked to take the wrap off of it. That
sounds horrible.
It was not fun.
It sounds so bad.
It took 3 days, I think.
What have been some of our more recent highlights, I guess, in our used car department? Like right now, currently, we have a Porsche 911.
Yeah, which you can check out on the website, all the pictures. To be honest, I'm not really well versed in detail. I saw everything that came through.
Yeah.
But with parts, I don't really see everything that comes through. I don't know.
We've got a really cool Chevy truck. So the Colorado, that one's cool. Jeep Wranglers are always fun around this time of year when things start getting a little more sunny, especially when we get them in funky colors too.
Right.
But Ford Transit Connect, Charlotte said, yeah, we used to love driving that car. It was a true Ford Transit, not a passenger style, so it was completely cargo in the back, pretty much a work van. Charlotte and I drove that to Hyundai every day.
That'd be fun.
That was our favorite car. Let's see. Wow, Jeep. How good is Gabby at driving a go-kart? We're going to find out fairly soon. I believe our sales department's having I guess just a bonus for April.
Sell off.
Yeah, a sale, and we get to go go-karting to see.
I'm getting in on it. I'm going go-karting.
Charlotte said Mazda 5. Yeah, we had a really lovely Mazda 5.
Those vans are horrible.
Yeah, they're probably, speaking of flimsy door handles, whoa.
That would probably come off in an ice storm.
Yes.
First.
And on the topic of Mazda and vehicles we've taken in on trade, my personal vehicle was a trade-in, actually.
Someone asked, do you think the Rio will ever come back? I mean, cars do come back. I guess
Connor's hopeful.
The Toyota did it with the Eclipse, but they did it into an SUV with the Eclipse Cross.
Mitsubishi.
Oh, what did I say, Toyota? Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Oh, my
But
goodness.
Toyota did bring a car back, the Supra, but they brought it back as a BMW.
I guess they kind of brought the Crown back to North America. Or was it ever in North America? Was that only a...
I don't know if it was or not.
Either way. This is a Kia channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they probably won't bring the Rio back. It'll probably be into an electric EV1 or, something under a new name.
We got asked about the Kia Rio and crash test. Now, you know what? On the top of my head, I don't know the rating. But let's see if I can quickly Google that.
It's a good question. A small, compact car.
Mm-hmm. All right, IIHS. No, this is for the four-door sedan. Okay.
It's got goods all around pretty much here.
Yeah, it's got good. One was acceptable, and that was front passenger side. But everything else is good. It says for the headlights, they're rated good and poor.
Varies on trim and option.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, so got quite a few goods. Let's see if you guys, everything green is good. Yellow is A for acceptable. P is P for poor, but that was for under headlights. So crash worthiness is largely good.
Perfect.
Nezerborn said the Crown was brought back. Yep. Oh, Adele said the Kia Rio has received a 5-star safety rating for both the ANCAP and the Euro NCAP, with the 2023 model achieving a real safe car score of 59, indicating a low chance of driver death or injury. That's what we like to see.
Got to keep the death down.
Yeah, that's a stat that we like down.
Someone asked what the white car in the back is. That is our Kia Sorento.
Kia Sorento X-Line Limited. I'm delivering that later. Also a hot ride. Jump scare. Now where are we at for time? 27 minutes on a Kia Rio video, and it's not even a new car anymore. I think it's time we wrap up today's live stream, you guys. Thank you so much for watching today. I know it wasn't our typical live stream, but it's always good to talk to you guys and just kind of bring back some of our previous vehicles as well too. It's not every day we get such a fantastic, clean, used car. Seriously, they're not always this clean.
Especially in Canada, we got rust.
Yeah.
Salt destroys the carpets. People just don't take care of their cars.
Yep.
So it's nice when people take care of it. And
this one still smells new. I was about to say that on camera, but you guys can't smell it. I'll tell you guys, it smells new. So think plastic. But nonetheless, we appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a like if you are on right now. If you are watching in the future, it's free to do so, and it definitely makes our day. It really helps with the channel. We hope to see you again on Monday, live at 2 p.m. But in the meantime, Charlotte and I have a couple videos dropping over the weekend, so subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Thank you, Connor.
of course.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next time.